everyone, my name is Vera. I'm sure all of us have a common intention here, which is to learn Chinese. The reason why I want to teach Chinese is because the culture and heritage is rich. I can't wait to share with you. By learning it, more social interactions, business opportunities, and discoveries will open up. But there is a problem. Many who desire to learn Chinese does not know where or how to start, or some are learning it using the harder way. I also advise we start learning Chinese first by recognizing the characters instead of learning first the Hanyu Pinyin. Hanyu Pinyin is a system for romanizing using the Romance and Latin alphabet, the sounds of the Chinese language. This class is suitable for people who are interested to learn Chinese but find learning Chinese characters difficult. I grew up struggling with the language and also witnessed how my friends here struggled as well with both the language and the learning methods. After I have learned the correct technique and way of learning Chinese, I noticed myself starting to like Chinese. I realized that each Chinese character is not just a character. It is also an image, and that each Chinese character has its own story to tell. In this class, you will get tips and advices on how to make Chinese learning simpler and more enjoyable. I will be sharing with you guys 3 smart tips. As a bonus, I will share with you 5 commonly used radicals and its related characters. Free templates of character mind maps, websites, and apps which can help you with your Chinese learning. Please join me in this learning journey. I see you in the next class. Hi, thank you for joining. Imagine you are in a boat on the ocean. The ocean represents Chinese language and the fishes in it represents Chinese characters. The 3 tips that I'm about to give you represent 3 big nets that will allow you to catch many fishes at one go instead of using the hook to catch them one by one. These tips will help you systematically understand Chinese characters. The 3 tips are grouping, visualization, and mapping. Of course, each tip can be used individually, but if you can use them all together, you would be able to learn Chinese more efficiently. The first tip is grouping. Are you ready? See you in the next class. Hi, welcome back. The first tip I'm going to share is grouping. There are about 90,000 plus characters in Chinese, but don't worry, there are only 2,500 to 3,000 commonly used ones. Still sounds like a lot, right? You must be thinking, how on earth am I supposed to learn all those Chinese characters? Here is the good news. Radicals. Radicals in Chinese are similar to prefixes and suffixes in English. When we learn English, we usually learn one word and then we can learn prefixes and suffixes to add to the word and form another word. It is similar in Chinese. For example, almost all words with the hand radical are related to hand movements, such as push, pull, grab, and copy. Most words with the water radical are related to water, such as ocean, juice, river, and mud. There are only about 100 commonly used radicals. Every Chinese character has its radical. Different words may have the same radical. What I'm trying to say is, if you learn the key radical first, then the related words, you will be able to learn Chinese characters in a more systematic way. By the way, the radical we are talking about are those radicals carrying related meanings of the word. For example, the ne radical is related to illnesses. The xing radical is related to the heart. And the zu radical is related to the leg, foot parts, or movements. I will say there are some exceptions, but the majority of words are good enough for you to start with. Once you learn Chinese characters through its radicals, sometimes even though you might not know the pronunciation, you can roughly guess the meaning of it. For example, the word worm or insect, pronounced chong. When you see this radical in Chinese characters, the character is probably related to bugs, insects, or something similar, such as butterfly, cockroach, grasshopper, and ant. Don't worry if you cannot pronounce them correctly. Our goal here is to get an overall picture first, and most of the radical structures are simple. This is the best way to start, and in the future, all the character structures will be very easy to recognize. Let's learn about radicals. I will share more tips about radicals and mapping in the next lesson. Hey, welcome back. The second tip I'm about to share is visualization. There are many Chinese characters which were created from images. For example, the word wood is from the image of a tree. The word ren means people in English. This word, when it was first designed, looked like the side view of a person, but as it is transformed over the years, it does not look like a human anymore. But you can still use your imagination to make it look like one. We can still use this tip even with a character that has an abstract meaning. Here's an example. Another Chinese word pronounced as ren. Although it is pronounced the same way as the previous ren, their meanings are different. It means benevolence and kindness. The two parallel horizontal lines of the word symbolizes two, and the ren radical represents people. So altogether, it means two people should treat each other with kindness. This word also means the core of a seed or nut. The core of a walnut is soft and edible. Unlike the hard outer covering, the core of the walnut should represent our tender heart. There are sources which provides materials that will help you learn Chinese, such as flashcards which you can get from Chinese bookstores. They have one side with the regular character and the other side with the related image. Chineasy is the website you should check. They create great images to explain the meaning of different Chinese characters. This method is especially important for children to learn Chinese, because Chinese characters are easier to recognize by visualization than pronunciation, which is different from English. I will list the websites down below, so do go check them out. So right now, I'll be sharing with you guys on how to draw a mind map. Drawing mind maps not only help you to remember and memorize things better, but it is also fun. I'll be sharing with you guys two ways on how to create your own mind map. For the first way of drawing mind map that I'm about to share, you can download the template of the mind map from the link down below and print it out. The idea of the mind map is to put the radicals you learned in the big circle at the center. Then, try to find the radicals family words in the surrounded rings which linked to the center. The third layer of circles is for you to put the other components of the word. Some radicals have two different structures. That's why you provide two kinds of maps for you to choose from. I will use the hand radical as an example to demonstrate the mapping. So, let's begin. Fill the bigger circle on the left with the original Chinese character and the one on the right with its radical. Then, fill the smaller circles around it with Chinese characters that has the radical. You need not use up all the circles in a mind map. The Chinese characters on the mind map without the radical are also words. Just that when we add the radical to the characters, it forms another word. If you learn more words, you can add on to the mind map. This is just a prediction of how much you will write. For the second way of drawing mind map that I'm about to teach you, you will need two bottle caps of different sizes. Well, it need not be a bottle cap. As long as it can stamp circles is good enough. You would also need an ink pad, a piece of paper, and a pencil. So first, stamp one or two big circles at the center of the paper. Then, use a smaller bottle cap to stamp circles all around it. Once you are done with that, use the pencil to draw lines between the circles and join all of them. Fill the bigger circle on the left with the original word and the one on the right with the radical. I'm doing the run radical right now. There is really no limit to how big your mind map can extend to. Of course, you can use your own creativity. This is just my way of doing it. There's no rule to doing this in a certain way or anything. I'm done with my mind map now. If you have any other ways of doing mind map, please share them down below. I look forward to seeing your mind maps. Thanks for watching! Hi, let's review the 3 tips you've learned from this class. Number 1. Grouping. Understand the meaning of the radicals and use them to learn the words with the same radicals. Number 2. Visualization. Use the visual aids to memorize the structure and meaning of the characters. Number 3. Mapping. Use this method to link all the characters and words you learn. It will help you reinforce your memory efficiently. Your project for this lesson is to create your very own mind map of Chinese characters. You can use the attached file to start or use your own learning materials. Please share them down below. Can't wait to see your work. Please remember, any language is a lifelong learning journey, so remain optimistic towards it. Your project for this lesson is to create your very own mind map of Chinese characters. You can use the attached file to start or use your own learning materials. Please share them down below. Can't wait to see your work. Please remember, any language is a lifelong learning journey, so remain optimistic towards it. Congratulations for both of us. You have learned all 3 useful tips and I finished my first Chinese sharing class with you. I feel honored and grateful to have you guys from all around the world to join me. If you have any further questions or suggestions, please leave notes here. I will try my best to help. Please give me a positive review if you enjoyed these lessons. See you next time. Bye!